All right. Welcome, welcome. We back again, once again, time and time again, my friends. Where what we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is just go over the market from a major standpoint, just to get a little bit of the direction the market may be headed over the next few days. If you do like that concept, or you are interested in something like that, being a part of something like that, go ahead and click the subscribe button, turn the post notifications on, so you always get notified anytime I do a live stream like this here or post any educational content. Um, but yeah, go ahead and drop me a thumbs up for the consistency. We have not missed a day yet, and I do not plan on it. So yeah, shout out to me for that. But let's get right into it. We have XAU USD on the monthly time frame, and on the monthly we have just retested previous structure resistance that should act as resistance once again, because we are underneath it. We had a big run to the downside, now getting the exhaustion, the relief, the correction, the pullback, the retracement coming into this level as well. We're starting to see a little bit of loss of momentum from the candles. And if we do drop down to the daily time frame, what we can see is we had this tap into that area, and from there we are starting to get rejected from that area. If we do go ahead and start to break down below some of these lows on the retest, we could look for possible continuation to the downside. XAG USD on the monthly time frame pushing to the upside as well, looking to get a bit exhausted as these pairs are correlated. On the weekly time frame, starting to push to the downside. And on the daily time frame, we found a bit of resistance as we had a failed attempt to create the higher high. So we came into this area once, started the retracement for the continuation to the upside, came and retested this area once again, starting to get rejected. If we do start to see some breaks below structure, we could see possible continuations to the downside, possibly below some of these levels in here, for continuation down there before possible continuation to the upside if the market wants to do that. But the overall structure from the monthly time frame, and if we do look at the monthly on XBT USD, we have been making moves to the downside. We've just only just recently in the past couple months came back to retest some previous levels that we would need to see broken above from a monthly time frame standpoint to really declare this pair as bullish. So on the weekly time frame, coming down to it, we are starting to form some sort of a bit wedge pattern. So we do have a move down in here, and then as well we are starting to create some moves to the upside right in this area, where we could see a possible breakout to the downside for a retest for more continuation to the downside on this pair. But that is from the weekly time frame. And if we do look at the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, we did just get the push above, but what we created was a W formation that does complete 80 to 90% of the time. And as you can see here, had the move to the downside, move to the upside, came back, and we've retested the neckline. What we could have from here is more continuation to the downside, as this could provide the momentum needed to see this market break to the downside. But as well, we could see a break to the upside, and if we do get that for a retest, we could see possible continuation to the upside on this market as well. But US oil, jumping into US oil from the monthly time frame, what can we identify is that we are below some monthly structure where we could expect more continuation to the downside. On the weekly time frame, we just only came back after we had this move to the downside, some sort of retracement for more continuation to the downside, completing the most common pattern in the market. We've then started the retracement, a very aggressive retracement, where we could see, since we had a break above some structure support that should have acted as resistance, that did act as resistance, but then got broken and closed above, could act as support one more time for more continuations in this area. But if we do drop down to the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, we are pushing to the downside, where we are sitting right at previous structure resistance, now turn support. From there, if we do start to see this momentum slow down and the market to create some more moves to the upside, we could see more continuations to the upside on this market. Euro USD on the monthly time frame, now jumping into the Forex market, above some monthly structure. And if we do look at the weekly time frame, we've just been creating higher highs and higher lows, where we are still above some monthly structure in here that could provide some level of support if retested, but we are moving to the downside on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame though, we are kind of consolidating right in this area. Looks as if we are failing to break above some of these levels in here, but we could see more continuation to just consolidate in this market. That could provide a possible continuation to the upside, since we are still above this level of structure. But if we do break down below it, we could see possible retest for more continuation to the downside. GBP USD on the monthly time frame pushing to the upside, just got rejected very aggressively. If we look at the weekly time frame though, you can see we are still above some weekly structure, just starting the retracement, some weak candles. And then if we look at the daily time frame, you can see the momentum is starting to slow down as well on the daily time frame, but we are still below some daily structure. However, we did create this move to the downside, come back for a retracement, break below structure, come back for a retracement, and we are starting to make a move to the downside where we could see a possible double bottom in this area, finding some support. But if we do continue to the downside, we could see more continuations before looking for buy opportunities when we break structure and start to create higher highs and higher lows. The monthly time frame of AUD USD came into previous structure support, now acting as resistance on the monthly time frame. On the weekly though, we are still above some weekly resistance right in this area. After we retested and rejected this area, we have started the retracement, but we are still above some weekly support, so not just ideal to sell yet. But if we look at the daily time frame, you can see we did have a very aggressive move to the downside, but since then we have just started to consolidate and then start to show some sort of retracement, where you'd like to see the structure start to break first before you start to look for any possible entries to the downside. Monthly time frame of USD CAD, currently providing the most common pattern in the market. Move to the upside, break above structure, coming back to retest previous structure. Resistance now acting as support for a continuation to the upside to create a higher high. If we do look at the weekly time frame, we did come into a level which was a weekly M pattern, move to the upside, move back down, move back up, break down below some structure. We came back into this level to retest the neckline. From there we got rejected, and we are now starting to make some sort of move to the upside, continuing the trend. If we look at the daily time frame, you can see we are still below some daily structure though, because we are right around this area, retesting previous structure support that should act as resistance until broken and closed above. And then from there we could see possible continuations on this market to go ahead and continue to create the higher high that we want to see on the monthly time frame. NZD USD on the monthly time frame came into some levels of resistance and broken and closed above the first one, came back retest to retest the second one, found some level of resistance in there, made a move to the downside. On this monthly candle, it is setting up to have the next one that is supposed to fill in the wick. And if we do look at the weekly time frame, we did have a very aggressive move to the downside, provided some W formation with the move to the upside, where we could see this level retested right around in here as previous structure support, head, left shoulder, right shoulder, all in this area, where we could see possible continuations to the upside. USD CHF, excuse me, on the daily time frame of NZD USD, we are starting to make moves to the upside currently on this day. We had the correction right around in here, and since then we've started to create some sort of higher high, not broken and closed above some structure yet, but from there we are setting up to have the next candles that are supposed to fill in the wick that could provide the momentum to go ahead and see this market create some moves to the upside on some sort of the retest. We could see possible continuations on this market. Now USD CHF monthly time frame pushing to the downside very aggressively. We just broken and closed, well, we'll probably close over the next couple days below this structure, which would make us bearish on the monthly time frame. And then on the weekly, you can see we are still below some weekly structure as well. Not really very aggressively pushing to the downside, but still making moves to the downside. And if we look at the daily time frame, You can see we are finding a level of resistance in here, but that does not mean that we're going to go ahead and start to retest the highs once again. We are still below some daily structure, as we do have a level in the market right around this area that until broken and closed above, we cannot expect more continuation to the upside. From just where we are, we can only expect some more continuation to the downside. And if the market does provide some sort of setup, we could look for that. USD JPY monthly time frame. On the monthly, pushing to the downside, broken and closed below, or probably will close below in the next couple days, below some monthly structure.
It's 16 hours.
And then if we look at the weekly time frame, you can see we are retesting previous structure support right around this area. That could act as some sort of resistance, that should act as resistance for more continuation to the downside, just from a simple market structure perspective. And if we look at the daily time frame, this is a very aggressive move to the downside, where we did find some structure in here where we are making moves to the upside. But from there, if we pull out our Fibonacci and take a look, you can see we are approaching right around the golden ratio, the 618, where we could see the market find some level of resistance in this area and then start to provide the continuation to the downside that we would like to see. Now we can go over BTC USD once again on the monthly time frame, making it very, very simple. We have previous structure resistance all in this area that should act as support all in this area. We have all this area for the market to go ahead and find some levels. And if we look at the weekly time frame, though, we are just following simple market structure, breaking and closing below some level of support, coming back, retesting that level for more continuation to the downside until the market shows us that it's changed market structure. No, we can't be looking for anything other than the obvious of what it's showing. And then if we do look at the daily time frame, you can see we are starting to make moves to the downside once again, as we have been trapped in between this level right in here. And then we did find a level of support right around in here, so probably going to approach this level once again, and from there either make a move to the downside for more continuation to the downside, or find that as some support for a chance to go ahead and retest these levels once again, where there could be an opportunity for the break and close above for more continuation on this market. But that is a ways away if it does decide to do that. So really nothing too exciting on Bitcoin as of right now. Now that's pretty much it. Wrapped it up pretty fast. Don't want to waste too much of your time. And then as well, don't see too much chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop up off here, man. I appreciate you if you make it to the stream this far. Once again, I do these live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be happy to have you. You can hop in the chat, ask any questions. I do answer any and all questions that are asked in the chat, as well as go over any of the charts that I do not go over in these live streams. So yeah, if there's something that I missed that you would like to learn from this, or learn in general, be sure to ask it in the chat on the next live stream. But other than that, make sure you are subscribed. Drop your boy a thumbs up. Oh, excuse me. Make sure you are subscribed. Drop your boys a thumbs up. And hope you had a profitable day on and off the charts. And until next time.